name first.
That's not really important, is it?
Of course it is. If you're going to enter a discourse with someone, it's best to introduce yourself.
My name's Max.
Hello, Max. What brings you here today, Max?
I'm working on the mobile testing.
Right. And so what you said to me a second ago. You said to me a second ago, right, that you'd prefer it if I didn't hand out these.
Yeah.
Whilst you was talking to people.
I wasn't talking to them. I was taking confidential information from them, their addresses and phone numbers, and you're not part of that confidential agreement, so
yeah,
you can take it aside, and then after, that's what I said, I'll talk to you afterwards, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I know, but I don't understand why you'd want to interact with me.
So I've got nothing.
You got nothing to do. I know. I've
So
been sat here watching you do nothing until them couple of people turn up. To be quite honest with you,
if you're going to lie when you're talking to me,
I'm not lying.
to further
it's
your agenda,
it's the truth. Listen,
mate, do you want to see how many numbers we've done today?
I can record if you don't mind. Yeah. If you don't mind. Mrs, you know they're covered in ethylene oxide. They're really not favourable.
I don't want any of
You don't want no? This is from the Office of National Statistics. This is government website. Honestly, this is stuff that mainstream media will not show you. What do you mean whatever? Love, I could talk to you now for 5 minutes and I could...
I think it's the approach, isn't it? You know, like that sort of made her feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm not saying that you haven't got a point. I didn't say that. It's just obviously...
I like the way you opened to that. Go on, please.
No, but just, you know, the way you approach people can make someone feel...
Aggressive.
I didn't say aggressive.
Well,
I didn't say aggressive.
No, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm asking.
So
There's a question, because I'm on the spectrum asking questions. That's what I do. Right? So, that's basically it. That's my introduction. I'm Jim. I'm on the spectrum and I ask questions. And sometimes my animation can be perceived as aggression, but I don't mean that in all sincerity. Well,
I didn't sort of say that you were aggressive. So.
No, I know, but obviously I've heard it before is why I would suggest it to you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I presumed...
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't think she took too kindly to it.
So what's the numbers then?
Well, how many people we've done today?
Yeah.
40 odd?
40?
Yeah.
How many hours?
Been here since about 9, half 9.
Been here since 9, half 9. You had any
Because
lunch
we don't
break?
make people come and do this. It's voluntary or events.
Right, okay. And do you know why you're here doing this?
Yeah, because we're in the middle of a global pandemic. We're trying to keep people safe.
geezer. Okay, let's go for another approach. Why are you wearing that mask outside in the open?
Because I choose to.
Because you choose
I don't have to wear it out here.
Of course you don't have to wear it anywhere.
No, as in, like, I'm not for... Part of my job isn't to wear this out here. I choose to wear this out here.
Well, you're not wearing it right anyway, are you?
Because it slips off my nose.
Yes. But anyway, right, so you do it, right, as a signal of virtue or...
No, because I put my faith in certain things, and one of those is science and medicine.
Okay,
and
I'm happy to debate science.
But you've got to... Everyone has a choice to where they put their faith, right? Some people chose religion.
You said.
Some people go, do you know what, I don't trust the government, and I don't necessarily trust the government fully. But I've read enough about the medicine around the world, and you go enough people talking about it.
Okay.
I did not study virology and pandemic control, but a lot of people did, and I trust those people.
In the last year, I can guarantee that a lot more have started to learn. Anyway, right, so...
Including yourself, I guess.
Listen, it's not about me, this is about you at the minute and what you believe.
No.
We're talking about the science and the science behind the mask. No, it's not. It's the science behind the mask, because you're the one wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And you're the one that questions...
Okay, I'm going to tell you why do you choose not to wear a mask?
Because there's no science behind them. And in fact, the only science there is that behind the wearing of masks would suggest that they're actually on...
Alright, do you smoke?
Do I smoke?
Yeah.
I have been known to partake in smoking.
Yeah, no, I saw you smoke earlier. So all I'm saying is that if you're someone who smokes and puts stuff into your lungs that is definitely not to kill you...
That's my choice,
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So when you're someone who does those things and you're saying, well, this is actually bad for me...
Yeah,
like
okay, that's cool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you've put your faith in like cigarettes over medicine.
Yeah, my question was to understand if it was a signal of virtue or if there was something else behind it.
No, I just feel more comfortable wearing a mask, given I've never used to wear a mask.
For what reason?
Obviously.
Yes, exactly. But if you look at it from an anthropological point of view, right? Yeah, I can't talk them big words, more than 3 syllables, and I'm knackered, mate. Anyway, if you look at it from that point of view, if you know what I'm trying to say, yeah, is I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I can't have been interested, so I wouldn't have forgotten what I was saying.
No, I enjoy talking to people who have different points of view. I don't live in a bubble where I have an echo chamber of people around me.
Yeah, but it's the science. Right. Can I get this is proper off track, yeah. But just to the scientific experiment, please humour me. What way do you lean politically?
I mean, do you trust many of them? I don't really know if
100%. I would argue it's reasonable for any sound-minded human being to be disillusioned with politics. Yes.
Yeah,
so would you say you're apolitical?
I wouldn't say. I mean, I believe in looking after people, which probably puts me on more of a socialisty leaning sort of side of things.
So you would tend to centre left, say.
Because financially, I think we've got.
You need the economy, and you need the regulation.
I think how you look after your weakest, and that's in any walk of life, is a sign of what you stand for. And I think there's been a lot. There's a gap, an equality gap that's wider than ever before.
So sorry, let me ask, what's your take on the government writing "do not resuscitate" and "do not help out" all the lamies and all the disabled ones and all the vulnerables that they put it?
I have no idea what that is, anything about that, so I'm not going to. I don't know. I've never read about that.
So when people went into hospital and they were supposed to got the COVID or whatever, they've had "do not resuscitate" orders put on them. Everyone that's over 50 or is a disabled person, vulnerable person. I would say that's abhorrent and deplorable.
I didn't know if you were allowed to do that. I thought that was DNR was from a family point of view.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So there's quite a lot of stuff that's been done under emergency rule that you don't seem to be aware of. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's a little iceberg that when you chip away it, there's all this stuff underneath it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see that. But then at the same time,
but at the top of the iceberg, they've got everyone being berated and being labelled as a conspiracy theorist just because they've taken the time and effort to go and do a bit of research.
I think you touch. That's an interesting point. You read something that isn't necessarily mainstream and documented by agreed upon authorities, then what are those facts, where they come from? You go, well, they're not being told. Someone else will say, well, that's actually a load of bollocks and that's a conspiracy
theory. But it's not about calling it conspiracy theories.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. That's what science is about, though, because before there used to be a debate, and that's how things change. But with all this, I'm not saying this like any people's fault in particular, but with this cancel culture stuff that's going on, it's the same thing. It's the exact same concept that's going on with the science. It's certain people that have got certain views and certain ideologies don't want to hear it, and they will shut it down, and they will berate it and call it names.
Okay, well I think that's human nature, is to
but it's not scientific nature. It's not what the scientists.
Science is to disprove any theory. So any idea you have in science, the whole point of it is to try and prove that it's wrong.
To have a thesis and an antithesis, and all, yes, of course.
But as a person, if you have a view on something, and someone tells you you're wrong, we are as people naturally inclined to just shut down because you've backed them. You've backed them into a corner. So if you want to explain to someone reason, facts behind something, and give them an opportunity to think of it from a different way, then you open up people the possibility to change their opinion, change their mind.
Right.
If you sort of tell someone, no, you're fucking wrong, you're an idiot, then they're going to push back on you,
of course.
And that's on anything you're talking about, in any walk of life.
Is this a lateral flow test or a PCR test?
Lateral flow.
Lateral flow test. Do you know anything about the PCR tests? I know it's a lateral flow test, but I'm asking about PCRs.
I know the administration and how it gets sent off to a lab. I don't know the science behind it.
You don't know the science?
We don't have anything to do with the PCR test here.
No, right, fair enough. But obviously before the lateral flow was introduced, it was the PCR that was predominantly the test that was getting rolled out on a national scale. But basically I'm asking because two fundamental reasons. There's a gentleman who actually invented the test called Kerry Mullis, who went on record saying that it is not a diagnostics tool. It's not used for diagnosing illness or disease, right? And then also there's another thing about how many cycles they're supposed to use, this, that and the other. Have you heard these stories? No. You've not heard none of it.
The thing is about medical stuff,
how have you not heard any of the fringe conspiracy stuff?
Because what does that add to my life?
The truth. The ability for you to disseminate and you to discern what is truth from giving your own critical analysis. The ability.
But my everyday life, though, like I like to think I have a critical analytical mind. But you open yourself and question everything, you end up where? Like I have enough going on in my life that I focus on the people around me and putting money on
capitalism
the table.
is the problem then.
I absolutely agree with that, man.
I
you do. I absolutely agree with that. I think people have got disillusions with what is important in life.
So it's the whole structure. It's the whole. So it's just basically society, and it's just keeping everyone locked down into the narrative, the mainstream.
Don't know
So
about that,
so basically a slave.
man. Aren't we all?
Yes, 100%, brother. I will be at the front line, mate. Don't worry about it.
And I love a
Listen,
good protest, you know, and I will.
I'm sure
things
you.
that-
I'm sure you're at the kill the bill, mate, ain't ya?
No, I mean, I've spoken to enough coppers and realised how bent they are because out of their own mouths they've told me certain things.
Oh, really?
But then I've met some incredible policemen and women who have done amazing things in like moments of crisis when accidents have happened and other things have happened. So, in every walk of life, you have good, bad people and bad people. And that is a fact. And it
Of
doesn't matter
course.
what industry, what profession, you're going to have good and bad. And that is no different.
I would argue, though. I would argue that to try and fight the system from within the system, i.e., like Communist Party or something like this, and it's just a fallacy, isn't it? Because there's the whole structure. If you was truly a socialist, like you've got to reclaim
I
the
didn't say I was
means of
truly a socialist,
production.
did I didn't say I was truly a socialist.
No, I know, but I'm saying hypothetically, if one was to take that standpoint, yeah, I'm saying.
But it's how far you go with it, isn't it? If you're sort of radical, a bit more like.
Well, I think to be a socialist, you have to be a revolutionary, don't you? Not a democratic socialist. I mean proper Marxist, communist socialist. Because let's have it right, they're all the same thing.
Within sort of a bit of a realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Right. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up.
What's your name again? So it was
My name's Jim.
Jim, that was it, Jim. Nice
What's
to
your
meet
name
you.
again?
Max.
Max. I thought it was, but I didn't want to get it wrong.
No, I had Jay. I had
Do you
Jay,
shake
mate.
hands or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me, man.
Do you want me to leave it?
Yeah, take a few of them.
Do you want these? Yeah? Right, thank you for your time, Max.
Man, I've got no problem talking.
Sweet, mate.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too.